Hey everyone, how y'all doing and welcome back to another meta guide. So, tomorrow the Scroll Cup is going to run alongside the Open Ultra League. So for the Scroll Cup, Water, Fighting, and Dark type Pokemon are going to be eligible. And this is kind of like an RPS meta. We've had this, I think, once before. Take it as you will. This is a chill season, so it doesn't really matter. You can play the Ultra League, or you can just play the Scroll Cup just for the starters. You'll probably be ranked 20 by the time this meta comes out. You might not be, I might not be, because I haven't been battling as much. Who knows? But either way, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? That's my 2 cents on it. But with that being said, we're going to dive right into it and still talk about it. Because you still might want to play this meta. So for the first one, going to be Toxapex Ultra Bulky Rank 1 for sure. Toxapex, it's interesting. If they gave it another water move outside of Brine, I feel like it would be incredibly broken, like Surf, for example, because Brine is not a good move, right? But Toxapex is a good Pokemon because of the bulk it has, and Poison Jab, Sludge Wave, they're not bad moves. It's mainly the bulk. like 98% of Toxapex is because of its bulk, right? And it can destroy that Azumel that you will see in this meta as well. So it could definitely outbulk a lot of Pokemon, so it is good in that regard. Not my favorite Pokemon to use, but when you get it on the good matchup, you do definitely get it on a good matchup. But Mandibuzz is the next one. This Pokemon actually received a buff this season. I forgot about it because Foul Play is doing more damage now, right? So, and that's going to help out Mandibuzz a lot because Mandibuzz is not known for its attack. But when you're doing a little bit of extra damage, that will help out the bulky Mandibuzz for sure. So, yeah, I think Foul Play and Aerial. He's definitely the charge moves. And then as for the fast move, I could see an argument for Snarl or Air Slash. I think both moves can work depending on which route you want to go. Then Kingdra. Kingdra is one of the best Pokemon, definitely the best dragon in this meta because it's not weak to electric types, right? I mean, the other dragons are not either. It's not weak to grass. It has great moves, a great bait move. Swift is a fantastic move. Obviously, we know Dragon Breath. The rework from last season is amazing. Outrage, heavy hitting move. Could go Octazooka if you don't want to go Outrage, honestly. You could go Swift, Octazooka maybe. I have seen that move combination. I don't know if I recommend it, but it would be interesting. I do like Outrage for the nuke. But no, Kingdra or Shadow Kingdra, definitely a very powerful Pokemon. And that's all there is to it. Certainly a powerful Pokemon. Oh yeah, it's not weak to ice. That's a big thing that helps out Kingdra, right, compared to other dragon types. And then we have Arachnoid. I love this Pokemon. It's so tanky. Bug Bite definitely rips through a lot of Pokemon. You can debuff them with Bubble Beam. I was running in the past Bubble Beam Water Pulse. It does have Bug Buzz as well. Next up, Azumel. Azumel's going to have a lot of play in this meta. Obviously, if it catches the dragon types, it's going to do well. It's going to do okay into neutral situations like Gastrodon. It'll do fine into Gastrodon if Gastrodon doesn't run Earth Power. And I don't think it is going to run Earth Power in this meta. You might see it, but yeah, it's going to do well against the dog type. So it definitely has a lot of play. It needs to stay away from certain Pokemon, namely that Toxapex, and electric types. But if it can avoid the matchups it does not want to see, it's going to look really well, look really good. And then we have Murkrow or Shadow Murkrow. If you have the Shadow one, I would recommend going with the Shadow Murkrow. I do not. I don't have any. Not even a bad one. I just don't have one. But I have a good regular one. But that's still good. It's a glassy Pokemon, even the non-Shadow, so it's really glassy, but it hits like a truck, and Peck plus the Drill Peck combination, really, really good stuff, really powerful. I think Murkrow will see a lot of play. Then we have Gastrodon. Gastrodon needs to avoid a decent amount in this meta. It needs to avoid the flying types, right? And there's a good amount of them. It needs to avoid like the bug types because Mud Slap is resist. Anything that resists Mud Slap, essentially, it needs to avoid. But it has a lot of targets. It does well against that Toxapex. Obviously, the electric types it does well against. So Gastrodon, until they nerf Mud Slap, hopefully next season, Gastrodon is going to be seeing a lot of play in any cup it's eligible in. unless if there's like a Flying Cup plus Gastrodon. Then you won't see Gastrodon. If every other Pokemon is a flying Pokemon. But no, Gastrodon is a broken Pokemon, of course. We all know this. Moving on to the A rank, we do have Sableye. I like the Shadow Sableye. This is another one that has Foul Play, so it did receive that buff. Shadow Claw, Foul Play. Really strong stuff. A lot of Dark types you have to watch out for, but, it could run Dazzling Gleam as well, which is a powerful move, and will KO the Dark types. Galarian Moltres, I do think we'll see a lot of play as well with the Sucker Punch damage. Obviously, Dark type's going to be resisting that. I did put Murkrow above Galarian Moltres, but, this is still going to be a fantastic Pokemon to run. And then we have Annihilate. Going to be able to run through the Dark types. Going to do neutral to the flying Dark types, which is also going to be fantastic. Doesn't really appreciate Toxic. Well, honestly, it really doesn't mind it because it's also resisting Toxapex's poison attacks. So the only thing that's really doing not a lot, but like neutral damage is Brine. So like, and Brine, as we've discussed, is not a good move. So, if you're running the Shadow Annihilate, it's going to do pretty well against Toxapex for sure, no doubt about it. So yeah, this Pokemon definitely will see a good amount of play, I believe. And then we have Lantern. Lantern, I think, could be a good Pokemon to run as well. You could go Spark or Water Gun. It really depends. There's a lot of Pokemon that are resisting water damage, so you might want to consider Spark in this meta. Just keep it away from that Gastrodon, right? Morpeko, we know how powerful Morpeko is. It hits like an absolute truck, even moves that resist Aura Wheel hit like a truck. Then we have Zweilous, another fantastic Dragon type. With that Dragon Breath, Body Slam, Dark Pulse, love Zweilous. And then for the B rank, we actually have Pormont. Believe it or not, I think Pormont might actually see some play. It did get boosted this season with Brick Break, right? So it has the Thunder Shock, Brick Break, and then I think it's Wild Charge. Is it Wild Charge? I want to say it is. Heavy hitting Pokemon, pretty glassy, but we might see it. Like, you might see it. There's a good amount of water types that I think are going to be common. So you might see like a double electric team, which we will discuss in the solid team options. But yeah, I think Pormont will be a lot of fun to use. And then Jellicent, of course, received that Shadow Ball buff. Really, really strong. I think it's kind of going to... I think it'll be decent. But I think it might struggle a little bit. There's so many Dark types, and obviously it doesn't want to see the Dark types. So I think it will struggle. So many Electric types. So maybe I could have put this in the other options. Maybe replaced it with like a Lapras or something. But like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how common. I don't think it'll be super common. Next up is a Pokemon I want to use, Hydreigon. I've never used Hydreigon. I love Hydreigon. And I do think it has some play, right? It has Dragon Breath, Fly, Brutal Swing. So... it probably is better in the higher leagues. Like, Zweilous will be better, but, like, imagine going, like, double, like, Zweilous plus Hydreigon. That would be pretty cool. Then we have Chestnut. Chestnut could see some play. Obviously, it's going to have the Azumarill target. It's going to have the Gastrodon, but it doesn't want to see the Flyers. It doesn't want to see Toxapex. So, it's kind of a Pokemon that really needs to have the alignment it wants. And then we have Golisopod. I think this is going to be another really good one. I think this one will be, with Fury Cutter, a good safe swap. Getting to the moves pretty fast, right? Obviously, it wants to avoid electric types. But other than that, it could do pretty well. Even against Azumarill. It's not great against Azumarill. Azumarill resists every attack it has. But, it's still dishing out that damage to it. So, definitely going to be seeing some play. Does not want to see Flyers, though. Obviously, Murkrow would be really bad. Galarian Moltres, you're doing neutral damage to it. It's not terrible. But, and then we have Gyarados with Dragon Breath. Going to be doing pretty good getting to the moves fast. Going to do well against opposing Dragon types because Gyarados is not a Dragon type. So it's not weak to Dragon Breath. Then we have kommo-o. Kommo-o obviously really powerful with the upper hand plus Clanging Scales. So this is another dragon. Pick your dragon, right? We don't have any fairy types. And if there's a Pokemon with a fairy move that's eligible, I guess Glade is eligible. And if you see it, maybe, you're right, you might see it. But, if you do and you're running something like that, it's unfortunate. But I don't think that'll be too common. Then we have Empoleon. Empoleon, we know how powerful Empoleon is with Metal Sound, Hydro Cannon, Drill Peck. Really, really strong stuff. Moving on to the other options, we have hakamo-o. So, yeah, another dragon type we might see. I think there's better dragon options, but we might see it. Tentacruel. Not going to be as solid as that Toxapex, but I like Tentacruel. I've used it a lot in the Ultra League, right? In the past, so they've been trying to help out this Pokemon a lot. They gave it another move this season, right? Payback. I don't know if it's going to help out Tentacruel. You probably still prefer some of the other moves, but yeah, they keep on trying to help it out. That's pretty cool. That they keep on giving Tentacruel more moves. And then we have Lapras. Lapras probably should have been a little bit higher. I don't know. Psywave is resisted by all the dark types, but still, you get the Sparkling area really fast. It's a really good Pokemon. Skuntank, Dark Poison type, with Poison Jab, and then of course Trailblaze boosting the attack. If you run in this, you probably want the Shadow one. It also has Crunch as well. And then we have Mantine. Mantine's probably not going to see a whole lot of play. It really can't handle the electric types that I think you'll probably encounter. I mean, if it gets up against a good matchup, or at least an okay matchup, it could do okay, but Wing Attack was nerfed, right? You're probably not going to see it. Spiritomb, you might actually see it, though. Sucker Punch, Rock Tomb, and then Shadow Ball, as we know, is boosted, and Rock Tomb is a fantastic move. So this one you actually might see quite a bit of. I think this is actually really good. So we'll see. Then we have Ludicolo. So yeah, with Astonish, probably not too much. Not the grass type of choice. You probably see the Chestnut over this. I don't know. Ludicolo, I mean, the Astonish is not going to want to see all those dark types at the end of the day, right? So you just have to watch out for that. But, you know, maybe. We'll see. And then we have Primate. So Primate could be another one. Seaking, Malamar. Probably not going to see Malamar too much. Although it did technically receive a buff with that Foul Play increased damage. Milotic, and then Samurott. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So for the first team, I have a double flying Dark Team, Murkrow and Galarian Moltres. I think Murkrow makes a pretty decent safe swap. Obviously, if you safe swap into one of the back line and there's an electric type, that's going to be unfortunate, but that's why you lure it out. This whole team is actually weak to electric, now that I think about it. So you could replace the Toxapex with something that resists electric. My thought process was like, okay, we're going to do well against Azumarill with the lead, right? But, you know, maybe you could consider something else. Maybe an Empoleon. No, Empoleon's still weak to it. So, yeah, I mean, if you run into electric, you are going to kind of struggle. But I guess, to be fair, I mean, it really depends what electric type. Morpeko and Pawmot are pretty glassy, so if you run into those, you could probably still put in a lot of work with the Toxapex plus Moltres. Murkrow, I mean, if it's Water Gun, you know, Toxapex could do fine against the Lantern, so it really depends. You could, you could replace the Toxapex. If you replace it with a Dragon, you'll do fine against Electrics, but you're going to struggle to Azumarill or other fairies, but it's going to mainly be Azumarill. Because the whole team will be weak to it. But, you know, I mean, Murkrow still has play. I mean, you know, I guess. So, yeah, we'll see. And then next up, we have Double Dragon in the back. So I put Zweilius and Hydreigon on the team. I want to try with Toxapex in the lead. So again, obviously the backline not really going to appreciate the Azumarill. So that's where Toxapex comes in. But unlike the first team, the backline does well against Electric. Toxapex is not, but this team makes a little bit more sense. This team, I probably want to try. As I said, you could replace one of the dragons if you want to replace Hydreigon with, like, you know, another dragon like Kingdra. You could certainly do that, but I want to try Hydreigon, so I'm probably going to try out this team. Next up, we have another team. We have Manabuzz in the lead. I don't know if I want Airslash or Snarl, to be honest. And then we have Gastrodon or Kingdra. I think Kingdra will make a pretty good safe swap in this meta. As for the moveset, I think Swift is probably a little bit too good. I would go with the Shadow Kingdra. Hopefully you have it if you have it. If you don't, you can't go with the Shadow one. But I think Swift is too good. And then, I would say Outrage for the nuke potential. And then next up, we have Double Electric. I put Pawmot and Lantern. Obviously, you could replace it with, like, Morpeko, one of these, like the Pawmot, if you want to go with Morpeko instead. And then we have Arachnoid in the lead. So the backline going to hate Gastrodon. But Arachnoid loves Gastrodon, right? So, you know, and Arachnoid also really not going to appreciate, what else is it not, like flying types, right? But the backline, of course, does well against flying types. So I think this could be a fun team. Probably another team I do want to try as well. Next up, I actually put ABA Dragon. Obviously, if Azumarill's in the lead, it's going to be tough. You just have to play that match out. I mean, you do double resist the bubble. So the only thing that you have to worry about is the play rough. So if you can spam Swifts, the Shadow Kingdra actually has some play against the Zumel. But I did ABA Dragon. I put Tentacruel in the lead. Obviously, you can go Toxapex instead of Tentacruel. So that could be a lot of fun to use. And then the final team going to be that Morpeko with the double Bug, Water Team, Arachnoid, and Galiciopod. So the back line, not going to appreciate those flying types, but you got the Morpeko, which will actually like that. And maybe you could lure out, if they have a Galarian Moltres, you can lure that out. And honestly, if you're running Fury Cutter on that Galiciopod, and then Arachnoid, obviously it's Bug Bite, neutral damage towards the Galarian Moltres, not that bad. But either way, let me know what team you plan on running and what meta you plan on running, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye.